a tough look, man, to go home and tell your old lady you pretty much lost your job for doing your job. You know what I mean? Like right out here in Atlanta, last year, the person who does the who runs the Twitter account for the Hawks actually got some sort of a recognition. I don't know if it was a legitimate award, but he was recognized, or he or she was recognized for having the best Twitter feed in the league. And this was last year before the Hawks got good. You know, being clever and very, creative in the tweets and everything. So my thing is, like, this dude basically got fired for doing his job. It's almost like my experience working in radio or in the media. Like, certain times you don't know things are wrong until someone gets offended by them. Then all of a sudden it becomes wrong. And then people got to get suspended or fired. And man, I don't know this guy, but that's a tough look. Moving on. Oh, no, not moving on. Sorry, because I mentioned Rajon Rondo. Apparently, and I didn't know this either. I thought when teams make it to the playoffs, they get a check cut by the league. Like individually, the league cuts them a check. What I found out today was that the team actually cuts a check to, the league actually cuts a check to the team, and then it's up to the team to divvy it up how they feel necessary. So apparently, because this whole Rajon Rondo thing happened, and they, he's got a bad back, so he's going to be out indefinitely, and he probably won't play another game as a Maverick. And due to that, the almost $300,000 that they received from the league, I guess they voted as a team not to give him any. I mean, for a guy like Rajon Rondo, he's making cool bread, but extra money is always extra money. You know what I mean? I mean, you were on the team that made the playoffs, and it probably wouldn't benefit him any heading into free agency to bitch and moan about it. But it's just kind of like we're seeing a lot of petty stuff going on in professional sports here lately. The stuff with A-Rod and them, like, the Yankees feeling like they need to stand on some sort of moral ground all of a sudden and not pay him the $6 million that he's due to earn from breaking not breaking Willie Mays' record, but from passing Willie Mays on the all-time home run list. We're talking about billionaires. And in this case, it's not even in the millions of dollars that we're talking about. We're talking about 12 dudes splitting $300,000. And in the article I read, they say some teams actually, include the ball boys and the, some of the lower level people in the organization in the money too. Which, if it was me, to be honest with you, I'd probably divvied up amongst them only. You know what I mean? Because these players, like the average salary for an NBA player, I think is now $6 million. What is that? I'm not going to do the math here on the air, but if we're talking, let's say we're talking 10 people, not 12, 10 people, and you got to divide, $300,000 roughly. That's $30,000 a piece. All right, that's somebody's brand new Kia Sportage or something or whatever. But I'm not sure what a ball boy makes or some water boy or whatever other lower level positions they have. But hey, why not? Why not hook them up instead? This is the Sports Kings podcast. You got Big Mike here. Rob Calloway is in Vegas. He's in Sin City right now, not taking care of the business. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He's out there having a ball, enjoying himself. As far as the fight, he's a big boxing fan, so he's out there doing that whole thing. Don't forget, tell your friends and all the people that you love, or even the people that you hate, that you're hearing this via Spreaker.com. You guys can also reach out to us at any time on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live. Speaking of Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, before I forget, today was our first day participating in women, what is it called? Women Crush Wednesday, hashtag WCW. Just go to our Twitter account. You'll see it at Sports Kings Live. And the first female that we acknowledged was the great Jaquita Williams. If you don't know her, she was a local news anchor on the local CBS affiliate, CBS 46. Beautiful young lady. Has a wonderful story behind her, and she has a wonderful spirit about her too. She's just like a very. She seems to be a very, very positive, upbeat person. I don't really know her personally. Not really. I don't know her personally at all. But, you get to know people via their social media interactions and things of that nature. So we invite any of the females who listen to this show, or if you, or the guys who listen to this show, if you got somebody you want to nominate to be the Sports Kings Woman Crush Wednesday, just DM us the picture, of who they are. They don't, I posted it on Instagram today. Inner beauty will also be considered, but don't forget, if you have a little splash of ratchetness involved, I'm all about the ratchetness. Not too much though. Not like 3 scoops of it. Just like a pinch of ratchetness, and we can deal with that. Before we get to this next game though, let me make sure we get our daily look back out of the way. The time in the show, we kind of take a look back on this day in sports history and tell you guys some of the amazing feats that happened.
It's the Sports Kings.
On this day. Yes, it is called On This Day. We do it each and every day. Sometime within the first half hour of the show, just to kind of break up the monotony. Like yesterday, things got really, really deep. We were talking about the situation in Baltimore, and things got kind of emotional, and just to kind of put a bow on it and move on with the show, we kind of use this feature as such. So without further ado, on this day in 1941, the Boston Bees agreed to change their names to the Braves. I'm assuming this is the baseball team, the Boston Braves, but I believe there was a football team as well called the Boston Braves, who inevitably moved to Washington D.C. and then became the Washington Redskins. See, a little tidbit of knowledge there for you. That's not even here. That's not even written here. That's just something that I knew off the dome. On this day in 1961, ABC's Wide World of Sports premiered. If you're over the age of 30, I would say, you know about that Wild World of Sports, where they just went around the world and these crazy strongman situations were going on. You see big muscle-bound, Swedish dudes pulling, tractors and breaking their backs doing it. The same stuff you see kind of today, but there was a whole show about it. On this day in 1976, Muhammad Ali retained his world heavyweight title with a 15-round decision over Jimmy Young. 15 rounds. Like this weekend, Floyd them gonna fight a maximum of 12. Add 9 minutes to that. And these dudes didn't even have like defensive strategy the way Floyd does the shoulder roll and all that kind of stuff. Nah, it was like we're gonna come out here and punch each other in the face as many times as we can until somebody falls down and is unconscious. On this day in 1981, Steve Carlton of the Philadelphia Phillies became the first left-handed pitcher in the major leagues to get 3,000 career strikeouts. On this day in 1986, a pre-steroid Roger Clemens. That's not written here. That's me. And I don't know when Roger Clemens started using steroids. On this day in 1986, Roger Clemens of the Boston Red Sox set a Major League Baseball record by striking out 20 Seattle Mariner batters. If I can get it out. I feel like my mouth is stuck together. On this day in 1988, the Baltimore Orioles set a new Major League Baseball record after losing their 21 games of the season. I thought I read this yesterday. All right, see, they're repeating things. Anyway, on this day in 1997, Craig Mack, not the rapper who got the flavor in your ear. This is Craig McTavish, announced his retirement from the NHL after 17 seasons. And finally, on this day in 2002, Darryl Strawberry was sentenced to 18 months in prison for violating his probation on a 1999 conviction on drugs and solicitation of prostitution charges. Yeah, that Mets team had some cokeheads on it, didn't it? I think Lenny Dykstra was on one of those teams, and the good old Doc Gooden. Yeah, those guys kind of enjoyed the old nose candy. But that is our daily feature on this day. Now, moving on to something that happened on yesterday. The Spurs and the Clippers. This series is now 3-2. The Spurs actually winning last night. Forgive me for not having the final score. Actually, I do have the final score. I lied to you guys. The Spurs winning 111-107 in a game that came down to the wire, and some things were done and things were said. Doc Rivers, he started his press conference, or he started the I guess response to what was going on with the referees. As I don't complain a lot. Yeah, it's the Clippers. Y'all complain about everything. Like, this is probably the team that I'm really not the biggest fan of, because I think like today is the day. I think today is the day where today is the anniversary of the day all the Donald Sterling stuff happened last year, if I'm not mistaken. Or the Commissioner Silver actually came out with his statement on the stuff that happened with Donald Sterling and V. Steviano, and him saying he didn't want her hanging around Magic Johnson and Matt Kemp, black athletes basically. And they try to use that as some sort of like, that's why we're not playing well, because our owners are racist. Your owner's always been a racist. He's always been that. What was the problem before now that everyone else that doesn't follow basketball realized it? Yeah, they complain a lot. They complain on the floor. They complain, at the press conferences. Blake Griffin 2 days ago was complaining about, we don't even have a home court advantage. Oh, woe is us. All right, dude, whatever. Here's the thing, though. Last night, the complaints were valid. After I say all that, the complaints were valid. The calls that were made, the tech against Chris Paul was kind of the Jamal Crawford thing, where Tony Parker actually hooked him, pulled him in. They gave Jamal Crawford the foul, like a body foul against Tony Parker. The situation with J.J. Redick, his foul, Matt Barnes. There was a situation where, the one they got right though, the call that was right was the shot by Blake Griffin that was going to put them up and possibly win them the game with a couple seconds to go. Basket interference by my guy. If you listen to this podcast, you understand I have an affinity for DeAndre Jordan. I think he's one of the better big men in the league as far as knowing his role. He's the anchor of their defense. He is a guy who's going to rebound and rim run. He's going to block and change shots at the rim. But old DeAndre, that free throw thing is just not, like, for everything that I said about Dwight Howard and his mechanics changing, like, DeAndre's pretty consistent. The one thing I would say about him, though, because I try to watch him when he's shooting the free, I actually root for this guy shooting free throws. And maybe it's that hitch, that pause that he has right before he goes up with the shot, because he's sitting there thinking about it. Like, look at the guys who are good at free throws. Like, Steph just step to the line. Guys like Jamal Crawford just step to the line. Like, dribble, look at the rim, let it ride. Like, DeAndre sits up there, dribble, pause. He holds it in that knee bent position, and he's looking at the rim. Like, please don't move. It's not gonna move, DeAndre. I promise, it's gonna stay right there. Just shoot the shot with confidence. And his confidence is absolutely shot, because his form. The point I was making is his form. He's got good shooting form. Like, he's got pretty decent shooting form, but for whatever it's worth, the shots don't go down. My man shoots like 30% from the field. So I'm saying all that to say, for all the complaints that Doc Rivers may have as it relates to the play calling, or not the refereeing, how they call the game. You got to kind of look inward. You know what I mean? You missed 16 free throws. 16. You shot 1 for 15 from the three. See, there's that thing again. Not being efficient from the three-point line hurts. It hurts. You need to be able to shoot jump shots, the long ones, the ones that count for more than 2 points, to win basketball games in today's NBA. Got Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin pulled what I call a Patrick Ewing on us. 21 points in the first quarter, couldn't buy a bucket. Ended up with 30 points, 1 for 9 in the fourth quarter. Now, I do believe I have to give credit to Tim Duncan on this. Tim Duncan, the ageless, I don't know, whatever kind of fountain of youth he's got, or whatever woman he's dating, It's keeping him spry and young, and he's hanging out, and he's not hanging out, but he's hanging with these young boys. Like Blake Griffin can jump over the backboard if he wants to. Tim Duncan